up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters. And we ain't got nothing to hide, we move forward like soldiers.
What up, what up, what up, and welcome into Pregaming here on Sports Money. Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. We won't stop, we can't stop. Gotta stop, we just come out here, keep firing away, trying to get this money. I hope you guys are looking forward to this card this evening. Big card, as a matter of fact. Lots of hockey games. I think they got 10 on the docket. I think they had like 7 games in the NBA and a whole smattering of college basketball. So we have ourselves a fun card. I added a play, a last second ad. Those are always fun. Always get excited about those. So we're going to talk about the Colorado Avalanche, the Tampa Bay Lightning. Can the Avalanche lose another? Or is this a bounce back spot for Colorado, Vancouver, and the Sabres? Speaking of bouncing back after setting a franchise or tying the franchise record at 10, can the Buffalo Sabres bounce back after that Columbus Blue Jackets loss? And it's only right if we're going to fit the Columbus Blue Jackets in here that we talk about them against the Sharks, one of the hottest teams in the league. Some spots I don't think you're going to want to miss when it comes to those games out there. Then we're going to move to college sports. Speaking of bounce back opportunities, we'll talk Michigan, Penn State. We'll get into St. John's and Butler and the weird line doesn't make a lot of sense situation. We'll talk UCF and Oak State. I think that's got a 17 in a row win streak on the line for that one. I believe that is the case. Then we're going to move into the NBA. We got 3 games for you guys in the NBA. I got a total in the Heat and Timberwolves game. And I got our favorite spot. Our favorite spot, Spurs and Grizzlies. We'll talk Lakers and Pelicans. Our favorite spot, you guys know what it is. Shit team off a road game. Firing. That one has won. Let's see. 11 straight times. 11 straight times. It's 26-4-1. I'll break it down like a pound, as my guy Razor Sharp says, as we get into the NBA. So we got some work to do. We got some games to go. We got some opportunities to get some cash. And I'm excited about the newest opportunity to share with you guys. Twofold. There's 2 things going on right now. 2 big news updates for you guys here in the world of sports money. 1, always striving to try to find a way to give back to you guys that become members and support what we're doing here at Sports Money. You guys show up on the regular. You smash the like button. You repost. You retweet. You do all the things that we ask you to do to help build our community. I feel like you guys are excited about the community, and that's why you do it. But we do have an opportunity to give back going forward. Going forward, members of the Sports Money community. That means you're in the green. Doesn't matter what member level you are, but you're in the green. You get first take. You get first look. You get first time on the videos. In other words, I will be putting videos out there, continue to put videos out there, and they will be members only up front. Now, we'll release them to the public. And I started today. Got the college football breakdown for you guys for the Miami University taking on the Ole Miss Rebels, the Fighting Rebels. Still think they should have had Johnny Reb on the sidelines, but apparently everything got soft. And that video's out there now for any member to check out. The idea being that we give you guys first look at it. You get first take, you get first pass, you try to get the best line out there. And then, of course, we'll release it to the public. That'll be released later this evening to everybody else. But I thought that was a cool little way to build in a little more inherent value of the Sports Money team here, is to give you guys some first looks to try to beat the books, try to beat the line movement. I'm not sure if we'll get there with this one. Let me look and see. We'll see what happens by the time game time pops off there. But that was a big, exciting announcement. So look for that as a go-forward practice. Things like First Strike. We're working on revamping First Strike for the UFC card. The first UFC card will be on January 24th on Paramount. And so we're working on restructuring that content for you guys as well, trying to give you more content, less kind of the traditional, like here's this fighter and he likes to fight like a zombie, constantly moving forward, and he'll take a beating and maybe he'll win by decision. Like, all right, there's a lot of that tired take out there. So we want to try to do some more fun things out there, and members will get the first look at those as well. So Jerry Davis says he checked out the video. He leans that way as well. Haven't bet it, might get more value. And that's the idea. Try to give you guys the opportunity to analyze and assess first and foremost. So that's exciting content. Also, we're looking at a live show on Thursday for the college football playoffs. No NFL, but there is college football. There are the semifinals. It is that University of Miami Ole Miss game. So I'm going to have to take Nasty Nate's wrench away with his comments and his vitriol. It's not taken away. He's just muted. He's just muted for the time being. Trying to stay positive, trying to keep a positive community. I'll run my show my way, Nate. You run your show your way. How about that? Shout out to everybody that is here rocking this show with us, though. Excited to give you guys these plays. I think you've got fresh takes, open spots to get that cash. And we're no business. We're all business. No nonsense, I should say. Jesus, no business here. You got no business being here if you're not ready to get that cash here, because going forward, very excited about the direction things are happening. New shows in the works, as always. And always a lot to do. So going to release a video tomorrow. Members will get the first look at members' videos tomorrow. They will get a shot to see the Friday college football playoff game. A good 6 hours, at least, maybe more, before it gets released to the public. As a way to say thank you guys for being a part of what we're doing up in here. So let's get to the business of the business at hand here. We got plenty of action. I got 10 plays for you guys on this evening's card. I think they're all gold. We'll talk about the trends. We'll talk about the cash flow splits. We'll talk about the goalie lineups. We'll talk about the sharp respected betting report. But before we talk about anything, make sure you guys take a second and I had a feeling these little jerk offs would crawl out of the woodwork. It's all right. It's all right. And then we'll get to it. We'll get after it. We'll let you guys know exactly what these plays look like, exactly where this cash is sitting. And you guys don't have to be here. Volcan, that's even your real name. Nice trolly name without a fucking picture. But you don't have to be here. So don't be here. Just leave. Just go somewhere else. We don't need you here. We don't want you here. You're not welcome here. Why would you want to spend time at a place you're not welcome? It's like if you walk into a bar and you sit down and like the music stops and everyone's kind of sideballing you, like, just leave. It's an uncomfortable set. Everyone else is uncomfortable with you being around. Just leave. It's not your community. When I talk about building and growing the community, I'm not talking about you. You're a piece of shit. You don't support us. You come in here, you talk some smack. You don't recognize how this thing got developed and built. And you're showing up here after the fact because you know that we win a lot of bets. And respect. Appreciate that. But we don't need you here. And now I've taken your voice away. So you'll have to go troll it up. You'll have to become another user. But I'll continue to take your voice away because you don't get an opportunity to talk in my community, in our network. Certainly don't get a chance to talk on pregame. And I'll do everything I can to make sure you don't get a voice at all in sports money. Volcan. So there you go. Now you know exactly how we do. You want to fuck around? You're going to find out. That is for sure, you guys. Blake says, when does the UFC start back? The UFC starts back on January 24th. That's when we get back after it. That's when we roll our sleeves up and we get going. I'm hoping I should be good. I got a root canal scheduled for the 21st. Hoping I should be good to get going on that 24th. I can't imagine I'm going to lay around too long after tooth yanked out and the pulp cleared out and everything else that they said goes into it. But hey, if you guys haven't done so, let's smash that thumbs up button. Give us an opportunity to show some support. Unless you're going to be a troll. But we don't want your support. We don't need your support. We could care less about your support. YouTube cares so little about your support that they changed their algorithm. They don't care if you thumbs down. It doesn't matter any longer. You're just a slimy, weaselly piece. But if you do enjoy the content, you do want to put some goodwill on the card. You do try to get that good, positive vibes going as we build this community. Take a second to smash the thumbs up button, and we will get to work. Let's go. Jake Davis says, shout out, though he did sign it, Mikey. Not a complete coward. Who signed what? Who signed what? All right, let's go, you guys. Shout out to Blake M and Sancho being here. Stop geoengineering. Thanks, Gary. Says Razor made my day. Time to roll this dough. Let's go, man. I missed it. Did Razor Sharp have a banger today? Did our guy go out there and slay the proverbial dragon? I hope he did. Robert McCormick says, good evening. Gary Frank says, Harbaugh gone. Really? Jerry Davis says, check out the video. I lean that way as well, but might get more value closer to drop. I agree. I do agree. I wanted to get it out there early so it can mature a little bit. People can see, get those views up there. Crank that thing out there. Redbeard says, got him. Peter Gracia. We love Nasty Nate. Just listen, it's troll central these days. Peter Gracia, and I'm not saying Nasty Nate's a troll. I'm just saying we got guys like Vulcan here. We can't have, we got to lead by example and show these guys how it's done. Peter Gracia says, sup? Mikey Money, good call on Illinois State. That was a fun game. I thought they were going to win outright. We got that one right. So let's go. Jerry Davis, Nicholas Handy, checking in. Blake M says, when does the UFC start? Jerry Davis says, shout out, though he did sign it. I'm not sure who signed it, but Trevor Davis is here. Oh, I see. He says, Alan Vega. Okay, I got you. Well, hey, listen, joke's on them because every time they go in there and create a new trolley account, it it gives us another subscriber. So it's like a win-win. And I get to berate you and humiliate you publicly for being a piece of shit. So it's fun. It's all good. Peter Grazzi says, no big deal, no biggie anymore. Had several. It's all psychologically because it used to be a nightmare. RCT. What is RCT? Started off the day cashing. We got ourselves the both teams to score BTTS in that EPL game. So that was exciting action for us here. Got that thing moving in the right direction. Need a big day today. Oh, I see what he says. Okay. All right. Yeah, it might be thanks, dude. It might be the psychological impact. It's funny. I was talking to my brother today and I was like, it's not so bad. He's like, as long as it's not infected. I don't think it's infected, but I don't know. I just think way back to when I was younger and I had my wisdom teeth taken out. Like, that wasn't a fun process. Oral surgery in general just doesn't seem like, I don't even like going to the dentist. You got to do it, but I don't like them scraping and prodding and poking but a tooth hurts. And teeth shouldn't hurt, as the dentist had pointed out. So let's go into the NHL. I got back in action here. I was inspired by our guy last night there, shit talking and his nonsense, and I was able to get myself back and feeling good again. I got that greens and beans soup going I was telling you guys about there. So the sickness has been tabled and subsided here. Let's talk about Colorado Avalanche, Tampa Bay Lightning. We've got the graphics. We've got the opportunities. We've got the ability to get this cash with this Tampa Bay Lightning side of things here because it's kind of one of them key little spots where you look at it and say, well, Colorado's been on the struggle bus. They're one of the best teams in hockey. It makes a lot of sense. And this isn't one of those situations where you kind of stomp on the team or that you kind of like pull back and expect them to rebound. Maybe they do rebound. Maybe they do recover. They're going to Scotty Wedgwood. He's 18-2-4 with a 2.17 goals against average. But, the end of the day, you got this Avalanche team that fought hard to come back against Carolina. That was that 5-3 come from behind. We all bet it live at +5. Well, most of us bet it live at +525. Kind of had that feeling like, all right, kind of exhausted a little bit, that exhale after they came out and won that big game against Carolina. They go into Florida. The Panthers were in that bad spot off of the Winter Classic, right? Got busted up on their home ice on the Winter Classic. So it was like a situational letdown spot for Colorado, but I don't see situationally what Colorado needs to get this game for. In other words, when you look at their schedule and you look at what's going on, they're going back home and they're going to take on some softballs when they get back home. So this will complete their 3-leg of the road trip. They had obviously a tremendous run going and they're on fire when they're on home ice, as we already know. So I can't get there with this Colorado side of things. Even though I like the price tag, I kind of looked at it and thought, man, you're getting a fair value in this thing. But Tampa Bay is a home dog after a big winner, 99-40. They fire back. You've won 6 straight times in those positions. You're 9-1 your last 10. And we've get this great spot that kind of transcends the type of sport that you're playing. And it has to do with the 3 games in 4 day spot. And that is very much what this road trip is right now are for these Colorado Avalanche. You fade those teams in the 3 games in 4 day spots, you're 32-17. So we got a bye on Tampa. Tough scheduling situation for Colorado in a flat position for them before they go home. And I think you get tremendous value going back to this Tampa Bay minus 105. That's the way I looked at it. That's the way I want to get after it. Gary said, I went yesterday, my second cavity. Ooh. Oh. I'm tell you what, I am a baby about the dentist. I tell you, that is my Achilles heel here, my kryptonite. I get nervous, I get apprehensive, I start gripping the fucking chair rest so hard. And it goes back to this one dentist I had where the guy that fucked up my tooth before those root canals pending. And he gave me the Novocaine shot. I was like, he's like, can you feel this? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, all right, we'll just give it another minute. And then without asking me if I could feel it again, he starts drilling. And as soon as he started drilling, my foot kicked so hard that the whole fucking bench that I was on shook. And he's like, oh, wow, you can still feel that? I was like, uh-huh. And so he Novocaine me up a little bit more, then a little bit more. And then he went after it. And it took 3 months for that cavity to subside. So I was like, shit, man, that's as traumatic as it gets. I've had some cavities. You're in and out, no problem. This one, I actually called him after 2 months. I was like, is it normal that this thing should still hurt this late in the game? Well, sometimes. Jesus, they butchered the goddamn thing. I just yanked it out with a set of pliers. Thatcher Demko is going to start for the Vancouver Canucks against the Buffalo Sabres, the Canucks. And this is that, how do they respond to the loss, to adversity? If you ask Lindy Ruff, they talked to him pregame today. He said, the head coach of the Buffalo Sabres, I'm tired of losing already. And they said, how do you address your team that just had a great winning streak? And, do you put the pressure on them? How do you, and he said, we keep things loose. Just remind them that we're winners. And it's essentially this formula and recipe here. Thatcher Demko, one of the best in the league. We know that, but he has dealt with some adversity himself on the season. He's lost 4 straight. Then he has a big opportunity tonight to kind of go out there and plug the gap. Stop the bleeding, as they say. Buffalo Sabres got busted up by the Blue Jackets. And it just seems like the Sabres have this Blue Jackets. I don't know what the right word is. I don't want to say kryptonite again, but I guess that's ultimately what it is. It just makes them crumble. Now they're going to go to Jukka-Pekka Luukkonen on the Buffalo Sabres side of things with a 2.57 goals against average. I think that collectively, if you're this team, you came off of 1 goal, right? They just scored that 1 goal against Columbus. And it was a later goal, too. It wasn't even like it was of any meaning or substance in that game. That game could have easily been 10-0, the way the Sabres performed in that thing. I think it was like 3-0 right off the gate. So think what you do as you come back to your home ice early in the week is you focus on building it out again from the goal forward. You play strong defense. You play a little dump and chase puck out there. High shots on goal, lower scoring content, lower high quality scoring chances because you're just kind of trying to tuck it deep, pin it down low, drain the clock back out, and find a way to get on that winning streak. And that's what I think Buffalo goes to do in this game. So I don't want to get involved in the side. I do want to get involved in the total. And I do like that, by the way, it's the Vancouver Canucks here. I mean, these boys aren't afraid to have lower scoring games on their own right. So collectively, we have an opportunity to take the under 6. You can go 6 or 6.5. I went to 6. Recognizing the format and the style that these guys should play as they go forward with that defensive-minded, 2 good goaltenders in the crease right now. Be it they're not necessarily performing to the value they should, you can get 6.5, but I thought, you know what? I mean, I see a plus 100, a plus 105 on the 6s, and I see minus 122s and minus 130s. This got a 3-1 feel to me. This game's got a 3-1, probably a Buffalo Sabres bounce back win type of feel. We know the thing about Vancouver is they went through and they got rid of Quinn Hughes, sent him over to Minnesota. That didn't work for us last night. Damn it. Minnesota. Darn it. Just oh man, I had so much on the line. I could have won with those boys, and that's not the way it worked. Didn't break in our direction. But look, I just don't like this Vancouver team right now. I think they kind of caught that spark. They changed it up for the sake of changing it up. They got rid of Quinn. They brought a bunch of young guys in here, but they're stuck with guys like Kiefer Sherwood, Hronik, and Peterson, who just aren't playing very inspired hockey right now. And, 1-4 in their last 5 games. Their only win was at Seattle in what was a trappy spot for Seattle. At home against the division. We know that's not the strongest place to play Seattle Kraken. And look, Seattle Kraken came off that win against the Flyers. So just not impressed. They scored 2 goals last game against Boston. They did put up 3 against Seattle in that bounce back spot. The first game they had 3 against them as well. But I think this is that lower scoring spot here. The thing about Buffalo too, feast or famine. They're 1 goal or 4 goals. So this could be a very dicey game. I just think that the opportunity for these guys to keep it lower scoring is prevalent for this game here this evening, correlated with the 6s that we're seeing in the marketplace. And then, it's up Gerardo. Gerardo Hernandez checking in. Jerry Davis's fucking kickers. So if you're talking about the Harbaugh situation, kind of to me feels like what was the situation? He's got Derrick Henry, who was running downhill pretty much that whole game. He had a timeout in his back pocket, and yet they chose to take a knee with Lamar so that the rookie kicker could go out there and make the biggest kick of his life. That was bad coaching. And frankly, I think the situation unfolds that Lamar Jackson was saying either it's time for a change, I need a change, we need a new voice. And so he's either getting traded or Harbaugh's getting traded. And how do you trade a guy that's got the potential to be an NFL MVP every season? Right? Seemed like it was inevitable that was going to be the case. Speaking of NFL talk, we're going to pop live by Guy the Shark and I for the NFL Betting Blitz. We're going to try to get that show to you guys on Friday because there are 2 games for the NFL playoffs on Saturday, 3 games on Sunday, 1 on Monday, right? So we got a whole smattering of games and want to make sure we cover them all because 3 3-1s and a 4-0 for your boy right here over my best bets in this NFL football. Been fantastic. It's been a lot of fun to do it. So we want to make sure we get that to you guys as well. So keep your notifications turned on if you don't have them already here and set up for Sports Money. Probably going to be, that should be a live show. I'm pretty sure that'll be a live show Friday afternoon before the college football playoff game gets going out there. So stay tuned, get ready, get set. Let's go to this last game here in the NHL. And I just talked a little bit about the opportunity, right? The situation with the Buffalo Sabres coming off that Columbus Blue Jackets game. Now, are the Blue Jackets Dragon Slayers? Probably. Feels a little bit to me like the Columbus Blue Jackets they're just a mediocre team, as you can even see in their schedule, in their record at 18-16-7, but they just gonna lie in the weeds and find a way to surprise some people, and that's what they did to the Buffalo Sabres. So, okay. I kind of thought, I said this too the other day, speaking of that, but going back to that Sabres game for a minute, I was kind of thinking like once they lose one, I might just keep backing them to lose because they could very well go back on an epic losing streak and drop like 5 or 6 in a row. So I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens in this game here, but I like that total. Jerry Davis says, Mikey, there's times you get desperate for a change and you live to regret it. I agree. But Harbaugh is like one of the longest tenured coaches in the NFL, and Baltimore's underachieved like every single season. Granted, you got Patrick Mahomes, and there's one it kind of reminds me of Brady and Manning, right? Brady and Manning in the AFC out there. Like only one of them is going to get a chance to go to the Super Bowl, but Lamar just wasn't in enough of those games, and it seems like the rest of the AFC got up there around him. And hey, shout out to them Steelers. Took my money. Monday Night Football. But anyhow, let's talk about this NHL game. Last game for me in the NHL card. I've got some plays over on the winnable side as well. If you're looking for some more NHL action, but I really like this total in this game. Look, we talked about that last game and the stakes and the opportunity to go back out there and try to, build it from the back end forward. These two teams are all gas, no brakes. They're tops in the league when it comes to goal scoring opportunities and then goal scoring effectiveness. And it doesn't look like there's anybody in goal that's going to stop him. Jet Greaves will go for the Columbus Blue Jackets. He's got a 2.64 goals against average. All right. They're down Elvis Merzlikins. Or maybe not down, but just not finding quality out of this guy. And Jack Reeves let 5 goals on 43 shots in that 5-4 overtime loss to Pittsburgh. One of my many recent overtime losses. So, struggle bus, to say the least. Then we've got Alex Nedeljkovic with a 3.09 goals against average with an 89.3% save percentage. And think about this guy. He was backup his last game. And so I always feel like when you look at these games and the psychology, you talk about the head case with the root canal. If you're a goalie that's supposed to be on the bench, you're expecting rest. You don't go through maybe the same warm-up routine. Like, in the morning, whether you're the guy or not, right? Just because it takes them a while to kind of announce it. They know already who's playing. It's just a matter of time before they release the number. That's why you see like the first guy off the ice is typically the starter, because they want to let him go get that rest, get that recovery period out there. And then they'll let the shooters work on that backup goalie so that they can fine-tune their edge before puck time. That's kind of the first guy off the ice as a goaltender becomes the starter situation. But man, when Askarov got busted up early first period, so this guy was expecting to sit on the bench. Instead, he has to go in there for 2.5 periods. And it was a 7-3 loss to the Tampa Bay Lightning. He had 3 goals on 10 shots. Not much better for this guy. So, okay, 4 goals on 16 shots was his result. I'm sorry. So they let up 7 goals in that game, and 4 of them were the result. You can't yo-yo your goalies. Once you take the guy out, you put the other guy in, and that's it. So they stuck with him. But what do you make of this team? How do you go about it here? The Blue Jackets, 4-1-1 in their last 6, including that Buffalo Sabre spot. I looked to the total in this game, got a little variety, I guess, a little hodgepodge of scoring opportunities or plays at this game, because San Jose, I mentioned it, the last 10 games, they've got a 3.9 goals per game average. That's 3rd highest in the NHL over the 10-game span. The Blue Jackets, 3.3 goals against average in their last 10 games out there. So fast-paced game, action, young superstars and talent on the San Jose Sharks side of things. Celebrini, of course, and the gang out there. I don't see defense being played here, and I don't see either of these goaltenders being able to stop the pucks from going in either. So I'm going to end this little card up with an over 6.5 in the San Jose Sharks and Columbus Blue Jackets battle, boys. There you go. That's going to be the 3 spots in the NHL shop. Let's keep moving on to college hoops. Keep a brisk pace. And we'll start with this big game here, Michigan versus Penn State, a battle of Big Ten. Why is it important to reference it's a battle of Big Ten? I will tell you exactly why, because trends are our friends. Before we get to the trends, though, we must start with the cash flow splits and see where that money's coming in. And it's interesting because this game, let me find it. There it is. 8-17, 8-18, your rotation order opened at 25.5. Took action all morning on Penn State. Dropped to 20.5. It has since come back to 23.5. And it's actually juiced to the minus 23.5. They believe Michigan State comes out here and takes the absolute belt to the ass of this Penn State Nittany Lions squad. And history doesn't suggest that's the case. Kind of talking a little bit about some big numbers in the home dogs and specifically the Big Ten. And if you put all those in a blender and grind them out here, what you get is a Penn State plus 23.5 spot. Situation being right now, Big Ten, the home dog and a bounce back. Awful loss. 67-27. More than 66% win percentage. But the most impressive piece, they've won 6 times in a row in that position out there. If you put Penn State in that home dog role, they do come out 15-2. They've won 6 straight games out there. So I started looking at this game and thinking, Penn State let me down the last time I played them, no doubt. I think I lost by, I think it was the hook. I can't recall. I just remember the last time I bet on Penn State. Now, then I started thinking, do I want to go back to Penn State again after they just diced me like this? And the numbers suggest in these bounce back spots for the home dogs, Penn State specifically, the answer is yes. When you put them in a double-digit spot as a dog against a ranked opponent, they're a perfect 9-0 in those spots. So the numbers, the metrics, the data suggest that they bounce back and cover. And I think 23.5 points is probably just a few too many. There's only been a handful, and by handful, I think 2 or 3 games on the season that we've seen Michigan come out there and actually cover this number. So I'm going to take my shot. I'm going to take a chance for Penn State to bounce back with that home dog theory in the Big Ten and see if we can't do it again. See if we can't get some Penn State money in our back pockets. Let's go on to St. John's in the Beast, the Big East. Hope you guys, I don't know if you like the conference numbers or not. I kind of go back and forth. Like, I want to see what they're doing. I want to see what they're doing in the conference. So St. John's, well, they're rolling 2-1 in the conference in the Beast of the East, some would say. Butler on the other side of things here, 1-3. Kind of a little struggling start for these boys as they get rolling into conference play. And, we know St. John's is one of those teams that plays two complexes. They either play at their home court or they play at Madison Square Garden. They're on the road for this one, though. This line opened at 3.5. It's moved to 4.5 with 60% of the bets and 53% of the cash on Butler. So some potential bigger money coming in on St. John's. Total's gone from 161.5 as high as 163.5 with 67% of the bets and 68% of the cash on the under. The under. Lightning and the under. Tricky game. It's a lower number than I would like to see on the St. John's side of things. Like if St. John's is truly going to go out there and dominate these guys. But the thing is, they're not doing it against the spread. I mean, they're a mediocre 6-8, 500 on the road. But when you put them in that favorite role, they're just 5-8. Kind of a little suspect. And then as a favorite, they're 9-4 on the money line, but I just don't like the spread. Something in my head tells me maybe it's that Providence game. When I saw against Providence, Providence has kind of struggled a little bit this season. As much as I like Providence, I know Nasty Nate's a Providence guy too. They were only able to come up with 71 points, and that was at their home court. So a little less than desired. I mean, they took it to Georgetown, but Georgetown and Harvard on top of that. Like, just kind of look at the strength of schedule. And when they play somebody, they play Kentucky, they lose 78-66. Providence, 77-71. Just not quite there. Now you got this Butler team that's got back-to-back losses. They lost at Creighton. It was a close game. They covered the spread, only to fall to Villanova on their home court. So that one definitely leaves me a little stingy. I don't know if that's even the right word, but for all intent and purpose here, I think these two teams match up incredibly evenly. I think you got just a situation where you're too many points. And, you look at these records overall. I know we talked about the Big East, but the better team as the home dog, the better record, I should say, the better record as the home dog comes through. It might be as simple a cap as looking at it and saying, well, these guys have one more win than these guys. And if you follow that logic, you're 79-55. You've ripped off 7 straight wins by backing a team with the points like Butler. And I think that's because these teams match up evenly on paper, and it comes down to the last basket wins type of game. So I will jump in and take this Butler plus 4.5 as a way to get paid in this game. And I got 2 more in college hoops. I got 3 for you guys in the NBA, including our favorite spot. Our favorite spot, my favorite spot. It should be if it's my favorite spot, and we've cashed on it like 10 of the 11 straight times, it should be your fucking favorite spot too. I gave it out last night. Late night there live, and we cashed again on this son of a bitch. So gotta ride her till her wheels fall off here. UCF in Oklahoma. UCF comes into this game at number 25. They are on the road. They have started off the season in a crush everybody situation. They are going to Oklahoma State for Big 12 action as they battle it out here this evening. And the number 25 team catching 3 points on the road, 62% of the bets. The public seems to really like the bets, the UCF side of things. The cash is a little more defined. It's a little more split. But it's an interesting situation. So a real quick detour, and I've talked to you guys about this before, but the way that I look at the cash flow splits information, as an early adopter as I was at this thing and perfecting it over the last couple of years, is one, look at the percentage of bets being the whole soup, right? It's the garlic, it's the onion, it's the broth, it's the tomato paste, it's the tickets, it's the parlays, it's the props, it's the teasers, it's everything that's being written, whether it's a $1 ticket or a $100 ticket. It kind of constitutes where the public money is coming in. Then we look at the cash and we say the cash tends to be more associated with the bigger bettors. A guy like Cameron Sinek comes in with a backpack full of money, drops it on the counter and says, book me, Dano. And then they have to get the manager's approval. The manager comes back and says, okay, here's the number. And so then we see that in the sharp betting perspective, doesn't necessarily mean they're sharper bettors, but generally bigger bettors are going to probably be a little sharper. Maybe they're working with a syndicate or a conglomerate of some sort. But we've got 54% of the bets. Now, when they get tight like this, when you get between, 2 points of the line, -2 or +2, take a look at the money line. Get a better picture of what's happening with the money line. And here's the difference. At first glance, you see UCF is catching a lot of public action at +3. When you drop down to the money line, what is the general public theory when it comes to a team like Oklahoma State? Fuck the -2.5. I'll just take the money line. And we're seeing that 78% of the bets are on Oklahoma State money line. They don't want to lay the 2.5. They're scared. In case it's a last basket type of game, I'll just pay up for the money line. Thing about that money line, it hasn't moved. -140 is where it opened. It's sitting at -140. So that's why I like to go from kind of the total or the spread to the money line to see that it's actually telling a little bit of a different story. And so my takeaway from that is there probably happens to be a last basket wins this kind of game. So kind of nudges me to this +3 side of things. Now the total's coming down from 176.5. It's come down 2 points with 68% of the bets and 69% of the cash on the under. And I couldn't help but recognize low scoring. The last time these teams played, they went under. In that situation, the ranked team versus the unranked team in a conference game have won 14 straight times. 53-12 over the 65 instances on record. 14 straight wins to back a team like UCF at +3. And I say, if you're going to take the +3, you might as well sprinkle the +140 or +130. Get yourself a little bit of money in your back pocket while you're at it, because that's a big trend. Nasty Nate says St. John's first half -2.5. I'm eating chicken noodle soup from Panera right now. Nice. I could get some Panera. I could get some Panera in my life. Jerry Davis says, I'm on St. John's -3.5. Butler already lost a few ATS at home and definitely best team they have played at home. Got blown out by Boise State. Okay. I'm gonna now. Nasty Nate mind fucked me the last time because he was like, how many times have you cashed in? 17 straight times here. We're not at 17 yet. We're only at going on 15. So we'll take a shot with this UCF spot here. I just think the numbers lined up for us. And I got this bonus play for you guys. I'm going to jump in on Nevada. A couple of things. You guys have heard, I think I might be a closet Nevada fan. What's wrong with the Wolfpack? I think I like any team that's called the Wolfpack, it turns out. Line open at -1.5, 37% of the bets, 56% of the cash. Right there, you've got a different picture. You've got a sharp, respected betting report picture coming in on this Nevada side of things. It has, now it's a later game. It's 11 o'clock. So we get all our tickets laid out there. We get all our early money in. We get all our mid money in. We get to the late night there. We're looking for a late night special. We have a shot to get this Wolfpack out there. San Diego State comes in, no joke. Certainly can respect and recognize a team like San Diego State, 9-4, but Nevada Wolfpack 11-3. The books are telling you it's going to be a close game. What they're not going to tell you about is the intersecting zeros. That's why you tune in to see this show. And what it comes down to, there's really a lot of these opportunities here. You got the good team in the conference, small favorite, but both aren't really covering against the spread. Well, there aren't no flukes. The better team tends to prevail. And if you look at this thing over a 5,000 game sample, 4,000 game sample, whoops, extra one in there, you're winning at 53%. So just on the surface, before you even dig in, you got to recognize that the teams are familiar with each other. They're motivated to go play a team in their own division. And the fact that they're at home in a tough, I've said this before, I think the competitive toughness that goes into Nevada and the Pit, one of the hardest places to play, not the Pit, but one of the hardest places to play. San Diego State, 0-11 as a dog when the total's over a 130.5. And they hit more than 8 threes the previous game. In other words, after they shoot the lights out from beyond the arc, They can't back it up, and they're losing by 16.5 points a game in those spots. We're looking at basically a pick 'em. San Diego State's 0-10 on the road when the total goes between 130.5 and 146, and they're between 4 points. So there comes that little caveat that we talk about. The books aren't sure if they know it's not going to be a blowout, or they're not expecting it to be a blowout. So when you measure San Diego State in an index around it could be the last basket type of game, they're 0-10 straight up. They're losing by 6 points a game. So they're thinking it's a last bet, and they just fall apart at the end. And then Nevada comes through as a perfect 15-0 at home. 15-0 at home. Totals less than a 145.5. They won by less than 12 points, and they're blowing teams out by 14 a clip in those spots. So it was a late night ad. It came through the SRB situation. Jerry Davis thinks Nevada's due here. Line is telling you Nevada says also like to fade teams traveling off of overtime. I love that strategy too, Jerry Davis. I like that strategy too. Yeah, see, I gotta go back to this chicken noodle soup at Panera. Is there anything else at Panera you could get besides the chicken noodle soup? Is it that? I don't know if I've ever had chicken noodle soup at Panera. Is it that good? Man, maybe I'd go with I'm a broccoli cheese guy, lobster bisque guy, Italian weddings, so many others before just chicken noodle. Maybe I'm soiled on chicken noodle because I made some a couple months ago, maybe a month or 2 months ago, probably. And I used way too much garlic, and I immediately regretted using all that garlic. I was like, oh man, what did I do? This is terrible. Ugh. Anyhow, let's go to the NBA. Miami Heat, Minnesota Timberwolves, like a sandwich, like a. Oh, this is incredible. Okay, all right. You're getting there. You're getting there for me. T-Spoo says, what you thinking on this Duke game? I think the over's in play. I'll tell you what, I didn't spend a lot of time looking at it because the last time I looked at a Duke game, who they just play? Kansas, Kentucky, or UNC? I don't know. They played one of them. And as trends pointed to an under, and there was some sharp perspective betting coming in on the under, and I said, this game's going to go over. And it did. And so now I got this feeling Duke's just one of the teams that seems to be running to the over. So Jerry Davis says, I see the same cap for UV, West Virginia. What say you? I like the under in the West Virginia game. The numbers come up, though, from 120. I mean, it's opened so low. It didn't have anywhere to go but to come up. So now seeing 132s, and I haven't looked in the last hour, but just some ridiculous numbers when it comes down to it. So Jerry Davis is on the over. Okay. In that UNC game or that Duke game. Yeah, he's on the, all right, Jerry Davis. Maybe we're spending too much time together. And you know what? I like it, though. I like when we're all starting to kind of look at things. Doesn't it make the card so much easier when everybody takes a little chunk and finds a little something they like? And why did this one not qualify and this one does qualify? That makes it so much. We don't all have to get on the same side, but it's nice when we're all still kind of looking and seeing the same. It's like it kind of validates what you're seeing out there in the market, doesn't it? Like, all right, I saw the same thing he saw. I'm going to jump in on it. Let's go with it. Just a confidence building opportunity out there. Speaking of confidence building, I don't know what this game's doing, but it looked like it was going to be a Ohio spot, and it is. Shit. That sucks. I didn't bet it. Should have bet it. I got mindfucked because it was 6. I'm very much a heady guy. I get in my own head sometimes. It's like the Sabres. You get to 10 wins in a row. You start getting in your own head. The NBA, something that doesn't get in my head. Other than the fact that I love our favorite spot there, and it has not 1, but 2 implied applications this evening. We're going to cover it here. The Miami Heat and the Timberwolves will kick us off first and foremost, though, with a 4.5. That's come down to 4. 57% of the bets and 51% of the cash are on the Minnesota Timberwolves. At home, Miami Heat going on the road. 235.5 has moved up to 237.5. And as of 5 minutes ago, we're starting to see 238.5 flat across the board. 74% of the bets and 76% of the cash have come in on the over because 2 things. This game lines up with the index that shows this should be an over. And these 2 teams average the over. And I don't care if it's still moved a point. I still think you get in on this over. One team in the Minnesota Timberwolves side of things here is averaging 219. Let me double check. Nope, well, not 219. Minnesota's averaging 119.6 points a game. Miami's averaging 120.8 points a game. The last time these two teams played, they got to 240. It was 125, 115. Remember, I talked to you guys about that Pistons game yesterday, and I said, these guys play, it goes under. Sure enough, and it did. We looked at the team totals, and everything lined up for the unders. Same thing, but reverse it. Flip it, rotate it, do whatever you got to do to it here. But 240 should be the number these guys get to. It's also a nationally televised game. So we should expect to see questionable guys like Tyler Hero probably come back in this game. Taking lots of three-pointer shots, all trying to splash and get the camera crew wet there for this nationally televised Miami Heat Minnesota Timberwolves game. I don't want to get involved on the side. Just give me the total and give me the over. Give me the Jover. I got 237.5 in that game. Nancy Nate says, I lived all over Providence. And the bucket. Jerry Davis says, UMass will come back according to recent performance, but figure out a way to lose at the end. Marcus McCarthy says, Nate, big Providence. He from like the... Mr. Whiskers is in the house. He says the Wolves are on fire. Rose Miller likes the Minnesota Timberwolves against the spread. See, I kind of lean that way too. I just like the over. I just saw the totals with the teams and the numbers, and I said, all right, just line me up with an over in this game. God damn, there's a lot of love for Louisville. Particularly Gallows in the house. I could sit around just sitting. I mean, I do, but I guess I do anyways. But I was thinking, just sit around, look at the line, look at the board move with all the colors that light up and shit as the lines are moving. Just sit there talking to you guys about it as it moves. But I guess we kind of do that already. So anyhow, I'm gonna take the over in this game. I'm gonna give you guys two more in the NBA. It's our favorite spots. It shouldn't be too hard to figure out at this point. Shit team off a road game with a total over 236.5. Shit team below 500. Off a road game. Total 236.5 is the swing point. So look at the board, figure it out. We've got two instances where this game qualifies this evening. And the thing about this trend, I think we caught it early. I think we caught it around like game 2 and then rode it to 3. I think we've been just flying high on this thing here. 26-4-1, but it's cashed 11 straight times. It's 9-0-1. I think that one, if I'm not mistaken, that one, is that the Celtics game? And it ended up being a push, depending on the number that you got. I guess I'll have to go back. I'm asking you guys. I guess I'll have to go back and look. But there are two games that it qualifies for this evening, and I'm just not in the business of getting away from a good thing. If it's working for us, there's no reason that we can't expect it to. Well, shouldn't say expect, but because we've caught it as frequently as we have and we're in this thing for the long game, you got to keep riding this thing. And if you haven't played it yet, then take a shot. See if we can keep it going. 77% of the bets, 76% of the cash are on the Los Angeles Lakers. It's gone from 5.5 to 6.5. 229.5 has gone to 244.5, with 61% of the bets and 63% of the cash coming in on the over in these spots out there. The Lakers at 22-11. A lot of people like these guys to go deep this year. We know what the Lakers do. It's hard to argue now with Doncic and, obviously LeBron and lots of battle, lots of dudes on this team out there. And even when they don't play, they still have guys that find a way to step up. You got Ruiz and such. But anyways, I digress as I look at these spots here. But, I'm looking at this Pelicans team and going, they suck. It's the cap is they suck. Now, God damn, if the Memphis Grizzlies didn't fuck up a good thing, the duplex spot or the complex spot, what do we call it? I can't remember. The duplex spot, wasn't it? Man, such a fuck job that they were 5.5 the first game. They lost by 7. Then they followed up their 5.5 the second game. They lose by 6. Like, you were right fucking there, Memphis. God. And the Pelicans suck. They've been fucking losing to everybody. But they suck and they're coming off a road game. And that gives us an opportunity. They just lost 125-106 to Miami. They lost 122-100. They lost to everybody. They're losing. That's a losing, shitty squad, and yet we find ourselves excited to take the opportunity, and that is exactly what I'm going to do. I am going to take the 6 points. You get 6.5. Shit. If you wait till right before kick, you'll probably end up catching a set. What time is this? I guess you get a shot. I see 5.5 at DraftKings, but it's juicing to the Lakers side of things. So with an 8 p.m. start, my recommendation is wait until about 7:45 and fire on the Pelicans and get as many points as you can. Also, you got to think about it. If you're the Lakers, do you get motivated to play a shit team back-to-back spots? I don't know. And Memphis was winning both those games at one point in time. In Memphis. Which makes it so hard to go back to this team and say, whoops. San Antonio Spurs, the Memphis Grizzlies. What do we got? We got a shit team coming off a road trip with a total over 236.5. That means we're going to go in on the Memphis Grizzlies. In fact, now you can get the 6.5 out there. This one has officially moved for another 8 p.m. start. Same situation. Literally the same situation. 11 straight cashers, same breakdown, I just talked about how they lost to the Lakers twice. That was their road trip. They are coming back home. Now, it's not as much as an automatic play as it might seem, though, because, I was just kind of looking at the San Antonio's situation. And San Antonio, so you got this Memphis team. You go on the road. It's a bad schedule spot because they went into New Year's. They played at home against the Knicks. Okay, that was a tough game. That was a 2-pointer. Then they go on the road after New Year's, the day after New Year's, to play at Pacers. Now, they smoked the Pacers, but the Pacers are in Tankathon, right? Then they come back home. They play Portland. They lose outright as an 8-point favorite. Now they go to Memphis, so they're back and forth through the holiday time. That's always strenuous. But it's not just that it's strenuous. Then you go back home. You play the Lakers. So you got a big game with the Lakers on deck tomorrow, by the way. This is the front of a back-to-back. Then you go 2 days later and you play at Boston. Nasty Nate. Celtics smash. So I do not like this schedule spot whatsoever for the San Antonio Spurs. And the fact that we can ride this 11-game straight win streak trend on our boys, the Memphis Grizzlies, means I'll run back to them at +6. You can get 6.5 now. Mr. Wesker says, Ja will be traded. Terry says, you go from Spurs to Lakers. You know what I meant. Mr. Wesker says, sick of the head. Says, all night I look at these numbers on the board move like the Matrix. Me too. At some point, I step away for dinner. Then I come back and I'm like, oh, this is where that one went. Then that's where I start looking for live betting opportunities. But that's going to be the way we put the bow on the show, boys and girls. Thank you guys all for being here, doing it with us this evening. Appreciate everybody being in here. Breaking balls or not, it's all fun for me, you guys. I hope you enjoy it as well. It's all about making money, though, and that's what I'm trying to do here this evening. So good luck to you guys with your action. If you haven't done so, smash the thumbs up button. And if you haven't, maybe consider jumping over to Winnable. Check us out and get some extra plays. You're looking for more plays. You want more options. You want more card. You want more parlay spaces, whatever the case may be. Get all that action over at Winnable. 77 cents a day for 3 months of action buying the quarterly package using the promo code TURKEY. I might refresh that. I might update that, but I appreciate all you guys here tonight. Good luck with your